Hey guys, it's me Orangberry, and let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever wanted to play Duke like a pro? Well, guess what? Me here, your best buddy, best pal Orangberry, is about to teach you what you need to do to be the best lion in the zoo, to roar and destroy all the enemies around you. Now, let's get straight into this awesome Duke guide. First, we're going to touch on his awesome items. So for his items, you're going to choose jungle shoes, holy sandals, vampire teeth, adrenaline shot, and you can also choose bandages. But let me tell you right now, if you do have some S tier items such as pheromone or muscles, choose muscles. Pheromone on Duke just does not make sense and it is not a great idea. Now let's cover Duke's awesome weapon traits. For his first weapon, bow and arrow, you're going to max range first, then you're going to max cooldown reduction. Yes, you can max velocity, but I don't really recommend it, as you prefer to get your bow and arrow off more often than ever. Why? Because your bow and arrow just doesn't do as much damage as other characters like Steve. So you're not really going to one-shot somebody with your bow and arrow, okay? So don't worry about that. Next up, we're going to have the bomb. And with the bomb, you're going to max cooldown, then you're going to max range. Yes, you can max range first, but I prefer to max cooldown first, because let's be honest, Duke's main damage does not come from his bomb. Next up, we have shotgun, and for shotgun, you're going to max range first, then you're going to max cooldown reduction, and that right there is going to be the perfect rotation for weapon traits on Duke. Now before we get into the awesome tips for Duke, where I teach you the best tips to improve your lion gameplay, we're going to talk about the best skin to play with Duke to increase your meme damage and the best emote to use. Now, for his best skin is his default skin. He doesn't really have a lot of skins, but out of all the skins he does have, his default skin is perfect. It makes you look like Simba. You are the king of Pride Rock. Now, when it comes to his emotes, you're going to obviously want to use that confused emote because it's hilarious. Why not? You're giving that intense emotional damage to them, confusing them all the way to the grave. Okay, so now being out of the way, we are going to go into the awesome Duke Lion tips. Now, to become the king of Pride Rock, Simba himself, you're going to need to learn how to roar. Now, if you are under level 12, or should I say just don't have your primal instinct at level 12, then your roar is not going to be as useful. So you really need to pay attention how you use it. So when you're using that roar, you would love to use it basically when you're in the bush or you know your opponent cannot get away. Don't use your roar to engage unless you know your opponent cannot get away, because without your primal instinct, your range for that roar is so little, you're definitely not going to be able to get it 9 out of 10 times. Okay, next up is if you have your primal instinct, use it super aggressively. When I tell you, I see anybody coming in on me, I'm going to instantly use that, especially if you're in a team. Oh, that roar is going to help you and your team solidify those kills easily. Ensure that you go in and roar to fear them. But let me tell you this right now, you can't get knocked back while roaring. So you want to watch who you're going to face against. Now, if you do not face against a Nyx or somebody who has a high knockback, you won't have to really worry about this. So another thing to note when you are playing Duke is that you need to understand you also have an awesome passive where any damage done to you or any active ability you're using, you start to run fast. So you can literally use the fire to your advantage. There are times where I use the fire to literally gain speed on my enemies or simply use my abilities just so I can run faster on them. That right there is key, let me tell you right now, because Duke is pretty solid in terms of speed, standard speed that is. But if you see somebody outrunning you, having that extra speed, especially if the fire is close to you, will help you out in catching them and demolishing them. Another tip when it comes to Duke, let me tell you this right now. This is very important, your rotation. When it comes to your rotation, personally, once I use my roar, the first thing I use is my bow and arrow. Then I follow up with my gun and the bomb. Why? Because my bow and arrow is pretty good, but it's easy to miss. Normally when I roar somebody, it means they're going to stay in one spot, so it allows me to aim my bow and arrow properly. His range is not that great, that's why you're maxing range, so it'll give you the ability to land those shots with them not moving. And then obviously your shotgun does the most amount of damage, being able to take them out. Another thing to note with Duke, he's a pretty tough tank, so don't be afraid to take damage. You're not really going to go down in one shot, okay guys? And that's really it for the Duke guide. With these tips, you should be the ultimate lion in the rock, the Pride Rock that is. You should be owning the Pride lands. You are Simba himself. Okay guys, please leave a like on this video, leave a comment down below letting me know if you enjoy playing Duke or if you want Duke for yourself, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!